So, most recent budget event at Bad Wolf was something very slightly different. We tried out Oathbreaker instead of Commander. For those of you unfamiliar with it, it's a Commander-adjacent format. All mentions of Commander in rules text are routed to read Oathbreaker, which means which doesn't usually come into play. So like Arcane Signal now taps for any colour in your Oathbreaker's colour identity, etc, etc. Right, so instead of a commander, you have an Oathbreaker, which is a Planeswalker, and a signature spell that you can cast at any time you can normally cast it, as long as your Oathbreaker is on board, after which it returns to the command zone and gains command attacks. Unlike regular commanders, you cannot choose to put the signature spell into another zone. So, for example, if you choose Faithless Looting, you can't choose to flash it back later for its flashback cost. It has to just go back and pay the regular ordinary cost. So, this also means that Shorikai Genesis Engine can be your Oathbreaker, and it is the only non-Planeswalker that can. Anyway, I was tempted to build Shorikai, but I figured out something fuckier. I figured out Karn Living Legacy, which is not the Karn you'd normally run in Oathbreaker. So, +1 create a tap Power Stone token. It taps a one colourless that can't be used to cast a non-artifact spell. Broadly speaking, did not come up in this. There are 2 non-artifact spells in the deck, and one of them is non-elemental blast, which we'll get to in a second. Neg 1, pay any amount of mana, look at that many cards on the top of your library, put 1 list in your hand on the rest onto the bottom, and the rest on the bottom in a random order. Next 7, you get an emblem with tap an untapped artifact you control. This emblem deals 1 damage to any target. So, yeah. That was my highly questionable Oathbreaker, the bad version of Karn. My signature spell is Null Elemental Blast. For 1 colourless, I can counter target multicolored spell or destroy target multicolored permanent. If the rest of the pod was in mono, I didn't have a signature spell in effect because there would never be a legal target for it. Out fucking standing. So, what did I build? First things first, let's look at there for the fun of it. Never drew into them, unfortunately, but we have Gingerbrute, because I like it, and Ginger, because this was heavily modified from my Ginger deck. And also because she just feels like a natural fit for Oathbreaker. She just becomes a heat-seeking missile. 2 mana, 3/1, trample hexproof haste, as long as an opponent controls a Planeswalker, which is much more likely in Oathbreaker than any other format. So, we have those. We have the limited draw suite of Collector's Vault, Investigator's Journal, Lembas, Tamiyo's Journal, and Candy Trail. We have the limited ramp suite of Burnished Heart, Thought Vessel, Felwar Stone, Liquid Metal Talk, Mind Stone, Walking Atlas, Aeroflowing Chalice, and Sadbot, specifically signed by William Christian from Chad Magic, making it a Chadbot. Up next, we have some counter stuff. Throne of Geth is for the Proliferate, Drillworks Mole, just because, one-type commander creature I control, we'll get there in a second. Twice you guide bot, 1 counter type creature you control. Potentially do draw stuff, who cares? Expanded Anatomy, the 1 token sorcerer in the deck. Put 2 1 counters on type creature against Vigilance on turn. It puts counters on things. Iron Apprentice. Enters with a counter, dies, it puts counters on things. Miss Grappling. Sack it, put a counter on thing. Animation Module was MV fucking P here. I'll get to the game winning play eventually, but this was somehow part of it. 3 mana. So, whenever 1 or more counters upon something, pay 1, create a servo. I never did this. What I mostly did was 3 mana and tap to choose a counter on target permanent or player and give them another kind. I'll give them another of that kind. Which feels oddly specific. Straight Proliferate would have been better, but I didn't really have much access to it. That's a nice easy 1-drop, I can use it in late game. The equipment sub-theme then, which again, feels similarly useless, considering how few creatures are in the deck and how many of them are there to die. We have Perilous Helm. Someone did control a wall at one point. Big Josh had Tuk Tuk Rubble Fort, which fucking... Yes, we stand. Swiftfoot Boots, Illusionist Braces, Luxio, and now you're seeing where the combo is coming together. General's Cavito, Golden Skin Gauntlets, Royce Gloves, Sculpting Steel, Psychic Paper, Tarian Soul Cleaver, Masterwork of Ingenuity, and Rover Blades. Yeah, so this little pile here was basically the game-winning play. Mana base, just for the sake of it. 4 Wastes, Shrine of Forsaken Gods, Urza's Mines, Alpha and Void, Conduit Pylons, Demolition Field, Ghost Quarter, Urza's Tower, Grey Havens, War Room, Buried Ruin, Blast Zone, Field of Ruin, Calm's Bastion, Underdark Rift, Bond's Enclave, Urza's Power Plant, Crystal Grotto, Urza's Cave, Rogue's Passage, Forge of Heroes. Fairly boring mana base, to be fair. It's just lands that enter untapped and do a thing. So, the goal with this deck was to put Luxio on Karn, and then Voltron him up. And I succeeded in that. I managed to get Luxio, Swiftfoot Boots, Psychic Paper, Tarian Soul Cleaver, and Rover Blades on him, which meant, by that point, he was on about 9 loyalty, which meant it was base 9/9. He was Psychic Paper. He was also Ali from Cairo, a real card you can name for Psychic Paper. And creature type Sand, as it's one of the 2 most obscure ones and feels less racist than Pincher. Tarian Soul Cleaver. This managed to put quite a few. It managed to put a few 1/1 counters on him, just because, conveniently stuff was put into the graveyard from the battlefield. He got big. Rover Blades. They're just roller skates. I don't know what to tell you. So, finally, Animation Module and Sculpting Steel. I paid 3, tapped Animation Module, put another 1/1 counter on him. Sculpting Steel enters a copy of Animation Module. I paid 3, tapped it, put a counter on him. That's also why Illusionist Braces is in the deck. Because Planeswalker abilities are activated abilities, and when you turn Karn into a creature via Luxio, he retains his loyalty abilities. Meaning that if I did +1, I'd get 2 tokens out of it, for example. It never came up, but it's still neat, you know? So, right, yes, where was I? I managed to get Karn to a base 10/10, just through threatening the one player that was running Proliferate with blowing up his Oathbreaker, if he didn't also proliferate me. Can recommend, very funny. We'll get to the rest of the pod in a second. Long story short, he was a 26/26 with double strike from the Rover Blades that couldn't be blocked because he was cunningly disguised as Ali from Cairo. Now, Oathbreaker as a format, the other main difference with Commander is that it does not have commander damage. It does not become Oathbreaker damage because usually Oathbreakers aren't going to swing in, unless they're Gideon, but no one cares about him. So, I figured, fuck it, let's build around the mechanic that doesn't exist. I'm not going to do well, am I? Anyway, I swung at the life game player with a 26/26 unblockable double strike and killed him. But I forgot that it had double strike, which means that we then went to his turn and he killed me. Only for me to realise while I was packing my stuff away, hang on a minute, I had double strike on my guy, he would have been dead. お前はもう死んでいる。何? So out of fairness, I agreed to split the price pack with him. No interesting pulls either way, but you may as well. It seemed like the right thing to do. So, in order of elimination then, there was Liam, who was playing against type with this, and playing Mono Blue Mill with that 1 Jace that has a lab man effect, and he almost did it. He was on 2 cards left in his deck, but it went to my turn first, and Karn was already big enough to kill him at that point and unblockable, so I achieved my goal of killing someone with Oathbreaker damage, having done most of the damage to him in the intermittent time. Next to go down was friend of the channel Big Josh, who was in Mardu. I don't recall who his commander was, but it's the one where on ult you steal all non-land permanents for the turn, which was very funny. And yeah, he managed to do that once. He ulted someone else's commander, which was fucking hilarious. And, well, he ulted someone else's Oathbreaker, and more importantly, he was able to do something about Mark, who was in life gain, with the giant that ults to gain 100 life, which he had managed to do at this point, thanks to a proliferate build. So Big Josh managed to slowly chip away at his health before being killed. Unblockable Galta will do that to you. Then it was down to me, and Mark was on like 40-something life by this point. And that was when I swung in with 26-26 Karn on fucking roller skates with double strike. It was miraculous. I cannot lose. I am the opposite of Brennan Lee Mulligan.
Brennan, what is the rule of the game?
Can we all say
I cannot win! That is correct, Brennan!
There is no way for me to lose at these events. I intentionally built a deck around a mechanic that I cannot stress this enough does not exist in this format, and I won game 1. And then game 2 was me, Liam again, friend of the channel Toru, who was in Minsk and Boo. Funnily enough, I just finished last night designing some Boo tokens for her. Check these out. And friend of the channel Quinn, who was in Liliana with all permanents in the deck and a combo piece in the signature spell slot, which screwed it over quite spectacularly in the end, because what happened is that Liam misplayed his counter spells, not being used to playing them. He normally does not like blue. And so he countered my Overflowing Chalice so he could draw a card, which meant that he no longer had counter spells available when Quinn went infinite and started looping Grey Merchant of Asphodel while going mana positive with her signature spell and just killed us all with the ETB triggers. Turn 4-5? Yeah. Quinn's a terrifying opponent in 60x4. Well, I guess 60x4 and also 60 card formats in general. Like, she's less used to Commander, but with a powerful deck, she'll consistently play extremely well. Really scary opponent. Really fun though. So, yeah, that was the most recent budget event. I won game 1, lost game 2 jointly. I came fucking joint second again. And you know why? Because I brought the chicken. This is your doing, this is your doing, this is your doing. See you next time. Wait, fuck, I forgot. Plans for the deck going forward? None. It's being integrated back into Sajinja. In fact, I will now, on screen while I remember to, find my girl, there she is, and give her her sleeve back. Karn, you have done me proud. I look forward to seeing you again in the 99 of this deck. You may have a reputation as being the worst Karn, but you know what? You're the prettiest Karn, and you're good enough for me. See you all next time.